How would you act if your innocent child is looking at you at every moment of your entire life, every single waking hour you have? How would you act in front of them? Would you do destructive things, or would you do constructive things, productive things to make you and the life of you and your family much better? That's something I'm thinking about recently through certain things I've been watching, podcasts and books I've been reading. It's having that level of accountability is what we don't typically, especially in the Western world, don't live with that kind of accountability, because we have access to smartphones which give us access to information as quick as possible. We have junk food readily available. We have porn and people addicted to porn through websites and through just everywhere you look nowadays. Like there's a person in a bikini, for example, or there's a person with their top off. All these different things that influence you. And when you go behind doors, what do you do with yourself? Do you train? Do you work out? Do you work on business plans? Do you watch TV constantly? Do you eat junk food? There's so many different things that having no accountability for will put you down on a negative spiral without you even realizing it's happening. But imagine if your young, innocent child, if you're a man, think of it as your son, and if you're a woman, think of it as your daughter, and they're looking up to you and they're looking for guidance from you, and they are determining that what you do next in that very moment will inspire them to do the same thing, because they're looking for you for guidance. They're looking to you to aspire to be just like you. And if you're sitting down, let's say you come home from work and no one else is about, and it's just you and the sofa and the walls around you in the house that you're in. Your spouse hasn't come home yet. No one else is in, and it's just you. What are you doing with your time and with your life? And having that external person, let's just say your child, if you're a man, it's your son, if you're a woman, it's your daughter. Just imagine if they were there in front of you. You may have kids already, you may not have kids, but just imagine they are there right in front of you, just staring at you, thinking about whatever mommy or daddy does next is what I'm gonna do in my life when I get to their age. How would that impact you today? Would that change the entire trajectory of your life? Having that level of accountability, knowing that someone's so impressionable, so influenced by you, so wants to be you, that they're looking at you right now and determining what their next step in life is going to be based on the next actions you take. When you have this type of accountability, you do things that will push you to become better, so that you can have a better life and your family's life can be much better because of the actions that you're taking. If you're coming home after a long day's work and you sit down on the sofa and you don't do anything, you watch TV for 4 hours until you go to sleep, and you eat junk food during that time, what is that showing for your child that is either here or not here yet? What is it showing for them? What kind of role model are you being for them? Because that's how you may be thinking, oh, you're taking it a bit too serious, you need to chill out, but if you're not doing that, what are you doing? And just literally think about it. This is kind of a side tangent, but me and my wife, we watched a movie the other day. Well, it was a while ago now, but this guy was actually, what is it? Is it You? I can't remember what it was. It might have been a series, but it was something on Netflix, and the person came home every day and was playing on a train set, and his wife was getting really annoyed with him because but not kind of showing him, but just getting frustrated with her life. And so she was just looking at him like, ugh, what is this guy doing? But then me and my wife looked at each other and we're like, I think she said something along the lines of what kind of life is that, kind of thing, just going home to play on your planes, or to play on your train set. But what were we doing? I just we had a chat with her. I said, what are we actually doing though that's so much better than him playing with the train sets? We are watching him playing with his train set in this TV show or this movie that we're watching. The movie's coming, or the show's coming back to me. I can't remember exactly what it was. It's quite a big one because we only watch kind of like big shows that are like trending really. But yeah, we were just watching this guy in a movie playing on his train set, and yes, it's an actor, but he was portraying someone, right? And people do that. They have train sets that they play with. But what were we doing that was so much better than him playing with his train set? At least he was pursuing something that he was perhaps enjoying or passionate about, or just like brings him back to his childhood, whatever. What were we doing? We were just watching him. We were just sat there. Like if you, like I have a cat, right? If you imagine being in your cat's perspective, let's just say your cat can't like gauge what's happening on the TV. They can't get sucked into stories and such things like that. If you think about it, you come home and you watch TV and you're just literally sat looking at a wall or a screen just before a wall. And when you think about it like that, it's just like you're literally not doing anything. You're just being in zombie mode, letting the time pass so that you can go to sleep and then wake up the next day and do something maybe you love, maybe you don't love, and then you just kind of repeat that whole cycle day in, day out, day in, day out. Whereas a cat is looking at you like, what are these people up to? They've come home and then just sat there looking at a black box and then looking at the wall. It's just like, what is going on in their minds, you know? So it's kind of weird because we take it for granted. We watch TV all the time. Everyone watches TV all the time nowadays. But it's just like, when you actually break down what you're doing, fair enough, you're watching something educational, something like that. But if it's literally just there to pass the time, like a movie, like most movies nowadays are just there to pass the time, right? You're not really learning anything that you can apply for your life. If you're watching something that you can actually apply, that you can develop from, learn from, that's a completely different story. I'm just talking about a movie for entertainment purposes, to kill some time purposes. If you're doing that every day, like what is there to, why would anyone want to follow in your footsteps? Do you want your child to follow in those type of footsteps? Probably not, right? You want your child to come home, do their homework so that they're more educated. So maybe perhaps play piano, play violin, do something creative, do something like a hobby. Get them to write stuff down, get them to paint pictures, get them to, put something up on the fridge, paint something, put something up on the fridge, make some macaroni art. You want them to utilize their skills so they can develop. You maybe want to take them to, after school playgrounds, play centers so that they can interact with other kids even more. You want to read to them. You want to, if you do want to share some content with them, perhaps it's more of the educational kind of content, something that they can actually learn, something maybe language based, something maybe maths based, or something maybe like that actually gives them some kind of value rather than just numbing their senses down to colorful animations on screen. Like, you want to do that for your children, but why are you doing the opposite for yourself? So that's just kind of what I'm getting at here. It's like we are mindlessly doing these things, not knowing how it's impacting us. But if we had our child looking at us and determining that what we do is going to determine what they aspire to do when they're older, would we really be sitting around watching TV? Would we really be ordering that pizza or ordering any junk food when we come home? Would we be cooking a fresh meal? Would we be doing exercise, just sitting on the couch the entire time? Would we, with this YouTube thing, would I just be sitting on the couch consuming content? Or would I rather, after this long day's work I just had from Milton Keynes all the way to Newcastle and back in one day, I think about 9.5 hours of driving I've just done literally right now. I had 2 45-minute breaks because I'm a truck driver, that's what you have to do. And I started at, you're not going to believe me, but I started at 4:15 this morning, and I finished at, I don't know the times here, but I finished at 4:15 this evening. So what is that, 12 hours? Yeah, 12-hour day. And I'm supposed to do 9 normally, so I got 3 hours overtime today. It's so easy for me to sit down right now. I was thinking about, what should I eat? What should I do tonight? Had I just sat down and ate some junk food, I would have felt even worse about myself. I've had a long day already, so I need to fill myself with nutritional food. That's what I would aspire for my child to do as well. I wouldn't want them to come on me after a long day and eat junk food. The same thing with doing something that they're passionate about or working towards. I would rather them, if they're into YouTube, I don't know if they will be, who knows from now, I haven't got children right now, but let's just say if they did have a YouTube channel, I would want them to create something that could put value out into the world rather than just consuming the value or consuming the content and not doing anything to kind of better their lives from it. I would want them to exercise. I would want them to use their body, because myself, I've been sat in the truck the whole day. I haven't really done much exercise apart from like handing over the cars that I deliver to the customers. But I would want to, after this video, I'm going to do some weights. So I was thinking about this on the journey, and the great thing about my job is like I have time to kind of think about these things. And sorry, if you can hear the cat playing with the litter, that's what's happening over there, just to let you know. But yeah, I have a lot of time when I'm in the cab by myself. I listen to a lot of content. I put on audiobooks, podcasts, stuff like that. And there's so much that I consume, but there is times when I switch it off everything and I'm just driving and I'm just thinking and I'm coming up with ideas and I'm evaluating my life and thinking about different things. And this is one of the things I was thinking about today, and thinking, how can I use this lesson to kind of help either someone else as well as myself? And the best way is doing what I'm doing right now, recording this content for you guys so that you can see this, and perhaps if this helps you in some way, then fantastic. And another way is by recording it for myself, I'm putting it out for myself also. And by doing so, I can potentially, excuse me, get more subscribers, get more views, up my watch hours, which will hopefully and eventually be able to create another source of income for me through this video asset. And then this video can get converted into a blog post as well. So there's so much more that can come out of it rather than just sitting down. So that's the kind of key point I want you to take away here today. If your child was watching, your son or your daughter, what would you want them to do when they had downtime? I just want you to kind of think about that and just maybe add it to your life. And if it helped, I hope it helped. Because all I want for myself and for you guys is just to live a better, happier life. So I hope that really helped.